Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lindsay and this is Waldorf Inspired Roots. In today's video, I'm going to share my Dollar Tree haul of items that I picked up to put together activity bags for a road trip. My best friend and I are taking our kids to California this weekend, and these are just things that I picked up that will hopefully help keep the kids entertained during the drive. So my best friend has two kids who are ages 3 and 6, and I have my 2.5-year-old, and then my 15-year-old will be there also, although he's pretty good at keeping himself entertained. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and I would love to hear questions and feedback in the comment section below. Almost all of the things that I'm going to show you are items that I picked up this morning at the Dollar Tree. There are a few things that I already had, and I will let you know which things those are as we go along. But the first thing that I picked up are gallon size Ziploc bags, and I did go ahead and get the ones that have the little slide and click thing, whatever that's called, because it's easier for kids to open and close. Most toddlers or young kids aren't able to seal a Ziploc bag without that. So I did go ahead and get those so that it's easier. So as I go along, I'm going to start filling those. The other thing that I picked up that I do want to share that won't go in a bag, but they are just these little cutting boards that have a handle. And the kids can, when they're in their car seats, they can put it on their lap for when they're coloring or doing certain activities, or they can use it as a playboard for some of the things that I'm going to show you. We'll get out 3 bags because we have 3 kids that I'm making these bags for. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you is I picked up these 2-sided Trolls crayons. I picked up 1 set for each kid, and then to go along with those, I found these little sticker activity pads. So I have this one here that is called Cosmic Cats, and basically it just has a few sheets of stickers followed by several, quite a few pages for coloring. I do like how on the back side of each of the coloring pages it's blank, and so they can draw or play tic-tac-toe or things like that. So I have one for each kid and the crayon. So I'm going to go ahead and get those ready. The next activity that I'm going to add in, I found these little tubes of dinosaurs, and so that'll be a fun little activity that they can just play with. The next thing that I found are these little pinball games, and there's 3 different kinds. Now, another hack or whatever that I find is sometimes if you get the same thing but in different versions, they can also rotate it and trade, and it'll make the activity last a little bit longer because they feel like they're doing the same activity, but they feel like they're doing a different version of it. And so when they start to get bored, you can say, okay, it's time to rotate your bag. The next next activity that I found are these little flashcards. Again, they're all different versions that they can pass around, but we have an outer space one, we have a dinosaurs one, and we have a nature one. The next activity that I found are these little notepads. Notepads are always good for doodling and things like that. And then I did go ahead and pick up some of these classic pens that have all the different colors when you push it down. What kid doesn't love those? The next activity that I found were these wooden coloring, sheets. And so it is just a wooden fishbowl, and they had several different kinds. They had a pineapple, they had, a Hello Summer one that had like a summer beach scene on it. And then it did come with these little markers, and I'm gonna take them out of the wrapper just so that there's less trash floating around. The next activity involves some things that I found or that I purchased at the Dollar Tree, and then these large jumbo popsicle sticks. These I already had, but I'm pretty sure that you can get these at the Dollar Tree. In fact, I forgot to look. But if you can't, Walmart has them as well, or even Amazon for very inexpensive. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do with the Velcro dots is we are gonna turn these into a building toy. So we have two different sides of the Velcro. So each stick is gonna get one of each side of the Velcro. So one of the rough side and one of the softer side. So I'm gonna go through and put a dot on each stick. So when you're done, you'll have a bunch of popsicle sticks that have a rough Velcro side and the softer Velcro side. And so then your child can stick them together and build with them. So they can build little shapes, different configurations of these. And so it's a building toy, but again, they're very inexpensive. So, if you lose them or break them or whatever, that's the best part about all of these activity bags, is that it doesn't really matter, if something should happen to them. Thing that I'm going to show you is I'm going to cut up some straws. This set of straws in particular I already had, but they do certainly have straws, and you can use any kind of straw. The more colorful the better, but there's tons of different kinds. And at the Dollar Tree in particular, it does rotate as far as what kinds they have, but there were several different kinds there. So I'm going to go ahead and pick out some, some different colors, and I'm going to cut them to make little beads. Now another thing that you could use instead of this straw is like pony beads, the plastic little beads, and things like that. Now I didn't have any left from a project that we did not too long ago, and I didn't see any at the Dollar Tree this time, though they frequently do have them, so definitely check. But I'm gonna go ahead and just take out a few different colors, and I'm going to cut them to make them beads, and then I'm going to use the pipe cleaners, and these I did find at the Dollar Tree, and I'll probably cut them in half and give each kid, 2 or 3 of them. Maybe I'll throw in one that is longer, but they can make bracelets and necklaces with the beads and the pipe cleaners. The next activity that I found are these little troll dolls. So little figurines are a great source of entertainment. The next activity that I found was in like the party favor section, and these are the little noise makers, which I didn't get too many noise makers because that would be a really long road trip, but these are the ones that they can, I haven't done these since I was a kid, but yeah. So I did get a couple of those. The next activity that I found are actually these little sand timers. Now, when I was a little girl, I loved things like this, and I think it's kind of ironic. They can literally watch time go by while we're on this road trip, but I thought that they'd be fun, so I picked up a couple of these just for one of the activities. Not sure how long this will keep them entertained. But I was trying to get a good variety of, different activities as far as, figurines or things to play with, and, creative, artsy sort of things, and, other little activities that they can do. Now, because these aren't the most entertaining, I had these little stretchy, they stretch really far, but they're little robots, and they were from my son's goodie bag from Valentine's Day. And so I'm going to throw a couple of these in the bags as well, just for one additional thing to do, since the sand timers, I'm not sure how well they'll hold their attention. The next activity that I'm going to share, I actually already had, but they are in fact from the Dollar Tree, and I did look just to see if they still had them, and they do. But it's just a little like a little tablet of construction paper, but it's like the small size. And so I'm actually only going to be using one of the books. I'm just going to take a few pieces of paper, and then I already had stickers. So if you have stickers at home, but if not, they have a million different kinds at the Dollar Tree. And so I'm going to put some paper and stickers as an activity. So I have these little baby shark ones, so I'll put one of those in each. The next thing that I have was not purchased at the Dollar Tree, but they had a bunch of similar ones, but it is bubbles. Now, I'm not going to put these in individual bags. I'm just going to put them in one Ziploc bag. And what I'm going to use these for are when we get to, a rest stop, or, to use the restroom or pull off. This is something that they can kind of get their wiggles out and play with outside of the car, when we stop. So the next thing that I'm going to add to each of these activity bags is going to be snacks. There are 12 different activities, and I have one bag for each kid from each of those activities. And so I'm going to add a snack to them, and I have quite an array here. So I'm just going to pick up, the first bag, and then we'll start adding different things. Now, I do have some snacks that are on the healthier side, some snacks that are on, the savory side and the sweet side, and I did try to mix it up. Now, within these 12 activities, our car ride is going to be about 4 hours to where we're going. And so we're going to do 6 bags on the way to our destination, and then we'll save 6 of them for the car ride back. So over the course of 4 hours, they will, have 6 bags that we'll give out one at a time periodically throughout the trip. snack I'm going to include is actually a leftover from Valentine's Day as well. And it is just little Valentines that are Mickey Mouse themed. And it's just a lollipop or a sucker. And I am going to include it in with the Valentine just to make it a little bit more fun. So that is all of the activity bags that we are going to take with us on our road trip. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you found some of these ideas helpful. And if you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I would love to hear questions, comments, feedback in the comment section below. See you next time. Bye.